Hey girlfriend, welcome back to the Her Best Self podcast. Today I have an epic question that I'm going to be answering for you. I had a listener write in to me and said, I want to be better and nourish my body more, but I feel like I save my calories to the end of the day, or I wait to eat certain things until later on in the day. Why do I do this? Is this part of the eating disorder, or is this just who I am? Is this just part of me? And says, I cannot wait to lean in and answer this question. If you struggle with savoring, if you struggle with waiting to eat certain things until later in the day, or you feel like you save up calories, maybe you splurge on a Saturday, but it's not something that you would necessarily do during the week, let's conquer this together. Can't wait for your listening to the show, friend, because this one is going to get you thinking. Let's go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsey, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you, because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in a destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it, so you can start living your best life as your best self. I am so excited to show up on the podcast today, and I'm so excited to really dial in today on this question of wanting to nourish yourself, realizing that you want to be better, but then knowing that means eating more and being scared of that at the same time. This question comes up often, so I'm going to revisit it just so you're aware of where we're starting from today. So, hi Lindsey, I want to be better. I want to nourish my body. I know that I need to be eating more, and while I'm scared of gaining weight, I do recognize that it's something I need to do. In my quest for recovery, I've noticed that I tend to save food for later in the day. I will push my eating until as late as possible in the day, or I will save the best for last when I'm eating. And I've given myself permission to have something that is outside of the norm. How do I eat earlier? Why do I save up? Is this normal? And do you have any advice to conquer this behavior? Oh my gosh, this is such a good one. This is so loaded, because do I have all the advice? Because I've lived it, been it, done all of it. And yes, girl, I see you. First things first, out of love, I'm going to share some first things first, okay? Stop fooling yourself into thinking that you aren't worthy. That is what this is. This is a classic eating disorder tactic that is based on the foundation of a scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset is when you live from a place of lack. So either you believe you aren't allowed to have something, or you are afraid that you won't have enough of it. And this comes from an underlying internal belief inside of you that you don't deserve abundance. Okay, so I just want to start there. The bad news is this must be changed in order to recover from an eating disorder, but the good news is that you are so capable and able. Let's call it what it really is. It is a coping mechanism that turned sour, and it must be faced in order to be repaired. But just like we save our pennies out of fear of going broke, we tend to try to do the same thing when it comes to calories, like saving our calories for later, or the foods that we fear, pushing those out until later. Or if we know we're going out to eat later, we will restrict throughout the day because we want to make sure we have room for it later. If all of this is speaking into your soul today, I want you to know you're not alone. It's this fear that you will overeat if you've had something earlier. But I want you to recognize it for what it is. This is a false perspective. The way to experience life is living life in abundance. We were created to have all things abundantly. And the way to have a healthy relationship with money or a relationship or food is to allow it in and allow it out. It's just energy. It's energy. It's currency. Just like money is currency for goods and services of the things that you want. Same goes for food. When we grip it, when we hold it tight, when we savor it, when we wait until later to do it, we feel slaved to it. This is restriction at its finest. But here's the dealio. The way out is through. So the truth is, no amount of food can fill an emotional void. And no amount of food restriction can fill it either. This is setting you up for a recipe for disaster. I have clients that go through these different emotional cycles and experiences. Maybe you're the type of person who will never allow yourself a certain thing, but you wait until later to try to say you're going to have it, right? And so you live from a place of fear and restriction because you're not allowing yourself that thing ever. Or maybe that puts you over the edge, and so it throws you right into a binge cycle, and then you fall right back into a restriction cycle because then you feel like you've had something you weren't allowed to have and you shouldn't have had it, and so it creates all that shame. Sis, I want you to play on repeat in your mind. I am deserving. I am allowed all things abundantly. Stop fooling yourself into thinking that you're not worthy. This is just coming from a scarcity mindset. And you, my sweet sis, you aren't lacking anything, okay? So we're gonna put that aside. We're gonna stop believing that false lie. And now I'm gonna share with you a list of things that you can do that are gonna help accomplish changing this behavior, okay? Number one, I want you to make a new rule to honor your mornings. If you're the type of person that waits until later in the day to have carbs, for an example, why? Why wait for later what you can nourish now? Okay, so that's the mindset. Even if you have to pre-decide and plan the night before. Why am I waiting until later? I'm gonna go in on that. Like, what makes me feel like I'm not allowed to have it now? And what lie am I believing? Is it the world? Did somebody tell me I can't have carbs when I wake up in the morning? Or did somebody tell me that I'm not allowed to eat until 2 o'clock? Like, where did those rules come from? Make a new one and honor your mornings. Why wait for later what you can do now? Number two, I want you to consciously eat every hour or hour and a half. Maybe you need to start with this at every 2 hours, but it's making a conscious commitment to yourself to honor yourself. And here's the key, even when you're not hungry, okay? This gets you in a consistent pattern of going, I'm gonna have a little something now, I'm gonna have a little something later. It gets you out of that really restrictive rule of I have to wait until later, or I can't have this until 4 p.m. Or if I'm going out to eat with dinner with friends tonight, then I have to be super restrictive today and I just need to wait so that I can savor up all my calories and have them for later. This is lies. Number three, I want you to address those negative feelings and those emotions, and we're gonna conquer the fear that comes up with those. I want you to ask yourself the why question, and then why and why and why again. All of this comes back to the fear that we're gonna gain weight. But is that really true? Is that really logical? Like, if I have my toast with breakfast this morning, is it really true that I'm gonna gain weight? Is it really true? No, it's not true. And even if it was true and I needed to gain weight, like, what is the harm? Your brain is looking for safety. And because this is a rule that you haven't allowed yourself to cross, it's gonna feel super hard for you and foreign. That's okay. You have to lean into the negative feelings in order to change the negative feelings. Number four, I want you to honor you. If you're thinking of food or dreaming of being normal and you want a different life, then you have to act, A-C-T, act on these thoughts. And when do you act on these thoughts? Now, not later. Why are we putting off things? Why are we procrastinating on things that we want and waiting to do the things that we want later? If we really want those things, they need to be done now. And I will share that this is how I even frame up my business. This is how I frame up making sure that I go down my to-do list every day. I start with the hardest thing first. Why? Why am I putting it off? If that's what I want, but it seems like it's super hard, then I just need to crush it. And the same goes for you. So I want you to honor you and act. If eating earlier is hard for you, we're gonna start eating earlier, even something small earlier. We're just gonna go. Number five, I want you to ask yourself, if all foods were 0 calories or my personal rules were removed right now, and these thoughts of what's good versus bad did not exist in my mind, what choice would I make right now? Sis, we've got to get out of this idea that we don't know what we want to eat. If you have not allowed yourself permission of anything in abundance, or that abundance is around you, or that any food can be eaten by you, how would you expect to know or be able to pick a selection of what you want? You haven't given yourself the ability to want. I want you to give yourself grace. If all foods were 0 calories or your personal rules were removed right now, what choice would you make? And then make it. Number 6, maybe it's time to switch up those times a day or those meals during the day. I had to do this in my own personal journey in recovery. I would put breakfast for dinner, or I would move up eating 2 hours earlier in the day just to see if I could. It was like a game that I made for myself. When you crush one goal and you keep that goal going and then you move on to the next, this is where the magic happens. But I don't want you to overextend yourself. I don't want you to try to accomplish 20 goals in 1 week. If the one goal is I want to eat earlier in the day, then how am I setting myself up for that? What does success look like for that? If I savor up all my calories until dinner time, how can I get that moving a little bit earlier in the day? How do I accomplish it? Well, when my feet hit the floor, what am I eating? And that's just an example. And number 7, reflect. I cannot say this enough, and I feel like it's super overlooked because everybody thinks journaling and mindset work is woo-woo, but that is the only way that I got to freedom, was through reflection daily. Each evening, ask yourself, where did I restrict? Where in pockets of my day did these feelings and emotions come up that felt super unpleasant? At what part of the day did I experience that? Do I feel that I'm still saving something up, or maybe saving the best for last? Or maybe I'm only allowed that treat right before bed or on a certain day of the week? How can this be an opportunity to do the opposite right now? And so what I'm talking about today, sis, is the best first rule. We are going to put the thing that we want to accomplish, the thing that's going to help us become the very best version of ourselves, we are going to put that thing first. So in order to set my day up for success, I don't have to live in a place of like, I'm going to lack it, or I can't have it, or I need permission to be able to eat it. No. Put the salad later in the day. Start with the hard thing first, and stop fooling yourself into thinking that you're not deserving of it. But I want to make sure that I've given a well-rounded response to this question. If you save things up for the end of the day, or you feel like you're not allowed to have something now because you need to have it later, I just want you to know that that's a pattern that can be broken. And it is a classic disordered eating tactic that is based on a foundation of scarcity. So how do you combat this? You start living in a growth mindset, not a mindset of lack. What if all things were good things? What if all things served a purpose? Why put off something until later that I can have now? And I actually used to try this on in my own mind. I used to say like, but what if I don't make it till later? Or what if I don't have later? Like, I want this now. Why wait until later? Sis, you are deserving of the now need. You are deserving of a now life. I want you to make a new rule. I want you to consciously eat. I want you to address those negative feelings, honor you in the process, ask yourself these unique questions that are going to help you to really think through and give yourself some clarity. Switch up those times and challenge those rules, and spend some time reflecting with you. You got this. I want to hear from you. Go on out to our private Facebook community, herbestselfsociety.com, and share with me your thoughts about today's episode. And if you have a question for me, you can send me a direct email at info@lindseynickel.com. I'd love to be able to pull your question in on a Coaching Over Coffee episode. Okay, friend, that is the end of today's show. But if you're looking for one-on-one personalized coaching support, I am running on a wait list and I want to get you in. Go on out to herbestself.co, fill out a client application, and let's connect so that we can see if coaching and my partnership with you will help you along your path to recovery. I'll talk to you real soon. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.